Turn up your. Oh, you still don't have the new pre-show, do you? Gosh, I keep forgetting to give it to you.
Yeah, no, I do. I just don't have it turned on. Where's this camera?
See, where is episode 7? There it is.
You said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." Then I'm like, "Oh," I looked at the table. It's like, "No, I'm not ready. I'm not close to being ready."
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to suddenly put wires together and set stuff up. And
why was I doing this?
Well, they're showing it right now. This is what the doctor wears.
Oh yeah. This is what the. Oh, David can't see it. Yeah. Stop it.
No,
Dave.
because you've put up this big graphic.
This is what the doctor wore. So Connie says I should wear this tonight.
Oh, so you're going to be Dr. Rupert?
Yeah. Just call me Rupert. Yeah, that's me. I'm Rupert. All right, let's see. My feedback. That works. Pre-show, episode 7. All right, let me check my.
Hi, David and Dwayne. This is Mir I Am, aka Vader Girl, also known as Miriam. Thanks for all.
Okay, is that as loud to you as it is to me?
It was, but it wasn't offensively loud. It was good.
All right, just a second.
Hi, David and Dwayne. This is Mir I Am, aka Vader Girl, also known as Miriam.
Still good.
Thanks for all you guys do. Love you guys so much. I have a question. Really enjoyed last night's episode. I was very, very sad to see ice cream.
All right, how was that level for you?
That was more than fine.
Okay.
On the loud side, but it's not bad.
All right. Are you talking to me? Because I can't hear you.
I did not touch any of those.
Yes, you did when you were getting your shoes.
No, I was putting all my shoes on my shelves.
Hello, Connie.
Place of 2.
Yeah.
But
Tell her I said hi.
David says hi.
hi, David.
All right. Yes.
I like how far David is from the.
Does she like my shiny bald head too?
No, she doesn't like that at all.
Oh, I'll put the hat on then. Okay.
What do I not like?
His shiny bald head. All right, Connie, hold on. Let me just see. Would you stop it? So you want me to be like back over here more like that, Connie? So it'll look like this. Does that make you happier?
Does she not like it, or does you not like it?
I can't hear you, Connie. Hold on.
Look where I'm waving.
Yes.
You need to see all of that.
I don't either. That's why it was zoomed in. Wait, hold on. Whoops.
Looky there.
Oh boy. Connie's happy now.
Does anything else matter?
That's all that matters.
She's rearranging your buffs. Things are looking good.
In these walls.
Oh man. If she knew we were live right now, she wouldn't be doing all this. All right, I got to get ready for the show. I don't have any of my documents up, so Connie, I can't talk to you anymore. All right, just a second.
But our ratings are. You don't even have your pre-show banner up like you get on me for.
I know it's because Connie was in here doing all her talking and telling me.
She still is, by the way.
I know.
Your room already looks 10 times better. Your distance from the camera looks great. Your buffs are more straight now. There's no holes and gaps.
Now the buffs are straight because Connie came in.
Our watchers are going to go up in multitudes.
Yes.
Our viewers, that's what
they're more watchers we're going to get because of all of that. She doesn't care how many watchers we have.
Does she know that we're live and on the air?
No, but she doesn't care if we're live and on the air. All right. Okay, hold on. Oh, let me get this off of there.
Oh, I need these to see you. I'm so far away from the computer now.
All righty then. All right, file, new window. Thank you.
I don't know why we're putting this pre-show on the air. Are we going to do separate recordings? Are we confident it's going to go through?
Yes. Let's do separate recordings. Let's see. Google Drive. Where is Google Drive? Google Drive. Boom. Season 32. All right, let's see. I need my episode 6. There's 259.
Ready to start recording?
No. There's feedback. And where's episode 6? There's episode 7. I think I named it episode 6 though. Yeah, I did. All right. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. All right.
I should play a match game with you and a viewer where I turn my camera off, and when I come back on, the first person to tell me what's different wins.
That'd be kind of fun. All right, and then all right. Do what, babe?
John, to me or her?
No, she's checking to make sure that this isn't something she needed to
I
fix.
thought that was
You sound like Probst and all his little innuendos during the challenge.
No, I do not, and I resent that.
Then what was your intonation
Intonation?
of your?
What do you mean the audio and video aren't synced? I've specifically bypassed the.
Is our chat room already up?
Sure. Whose video is not synced? Because I sacrificed what, Connie? I hate Google Plus, Google Hangouts on air.
Can we stop doing them?
All right, let's get the show started. I'm getting irritated. All right. But I didn't get to fix this stuff. I can't hear you, Connie. All right, and then this is the laptop. Oh yeah, we got to record, don't we?
Oh,
Bye, Connie. I love you.
start recording?
No, I don't have it open yet.
Oh, jeez.
Don't oh geez me, David. We're starting an hour early. It's not my fault.
Yeah, it is. It's where you live. You chose that state, and you put yourself in that position.
Okay. All right, I am recording. Are you recording?
You said you weren't recording it. Yes, I'm recording.
3, 2, 1, record. Sorry. Now my wife's telling me to mute off. I tell you what, I don't know how we've done 259 episodes without Connie being here to produce the show. I really don't know how we've done that. Do you, David?
Nope, but you're off to me too. So I'm just confirming to Will that you are off by a second.
Goodness. Frustration is abounding in my heart right now. All right, the only other thing I need to do is launch Skype and make sure you can hear it. All right, Skype is ready. And turn off notifications on my computer. All right. Are you ready, David? Because I am finally ready to get this show.
You know what? I've muted my video, and I meant to mute my audio so you could play all the intros. I am ready.
All right. Here we go.
I'm a survivor. I'm Jeff Varner from Survivor's Australian Outback in Cambodia. You know, when Abby's acting up, Gandhi is storming off, or Deb is looking for rocks somewhere, you are exactly where you need to be. Oh my God, this is delicious. Who needs food when you've got Dwayne and David? This is Survivor Talk with D&D.
So if you feel me, put your hands in there. Put
Hello and welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwayne.
And I'm David.
And we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Tonight we are going to be recapping episode 7 of Survivor Kaôh, Rōng. It's merge time. So welcome to our recap, discussion, and feedback show. You excited, David?
I'm stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Like a volcano about to erupt. I'm just ready.
Nice. Fun show ahead. We have possibly a guest coming on during the middle of it. Depends on if they get off work and can help us out. David and I are going to recap and discuss the episode, tackle our listener feedback, look at iTunes reviews, and the all-new Mikko challenge, where I battle against a random listener, and Pondering Ponderosa. Although I've not watched it, so it's all going to be David.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you've watched it. And we're going to look at how much Nick helped the Double D Brigade. I'm very excited to find out. Oh, my
gosh. I do not want to look at that.
Yes, but you're going to, David. No bailing out of it this time. Not tonight. Okay? So let's go ahead and draw the name for the Mikko challenge so that whoever it is doesn't have to, like, wait an hour and a half and then go, oh, great, I didn't get called. Okay? So I have my trusty hat. Or do you want to draw the name?
I'll let you draw it since you have all the names.
Okay. Just a second. Will Dennison. All right, Will, we will be calling you later on in the show, and you will be challenging me in the Mikko challenge. If you, as a listener, want to challenge me in the Mikko challenge, just send your name and phone number, international numbers as well, to feedback@survivortalkwithdnd.com. Thanks for downloading our show, for watching it on YouTube. However you put our voices or our faces into your brain, we are so grateful. And if you're watching live, join the chat room at stwdd.com/live. David, guess what's coming up Sunday night?
What, Dwayne? Please tell us. Oh, isn't that how you want me to say it?
For our D&D patrons, remember your patron perk is this Sunday night, April 3rd, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Look, if you live in the UK, you figure out what 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is, because I ain't doing it for all of you. Kelly and Friends, a patron podcast. All of our patrons get to call in the conference call, listen to it, get put in the queue, and ask questions. And then, of course, the show will be available exclusively to our patrons afterwards. It's called a patron perk, my friends, and there's a reason for it. So thank you. And you will, if you're a patron, look for a post on in the Patreon page for the phone numbers and instructions and all that good stuff, and we'll get all that going. A huge shout out and thank you to our newest D&D patrons, Jeremiah and Sharady. So we now have 40, count them, David, 40 D&D patrons. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing for us.
Yeah, they help pay for the bills, my friends. Thank you. All right, let's do this. All right. So much for that having a 5-second fade out. I might need to change that.
Can you hear that helicopter in the background going to pick me up?
No. Do you have a Hold on. Just a second. David, I'm here to make sure that your infection isn't getting too bad now.
Was it Keith or was it Dr. Rupert that showed up on the island?
It was Dr. Rupert, but Dr. Rupert's now back in the States, and he's here to examine all infectious materials that might or might not be on your body. So spread those legs, my friend.
I can't decide if I'm listening to the words or to the fact that you're not doing an Australian accent like
I'm
Dr.
sorry.
Rupert was.
Oh, okay. I need you to, spread your legs so I could check the infection, please.
That's not. Haven't you not learned anything from our listeners that comment?
By the way, since we have now reached one of our goals on the Patreon page, if David can remember the song, because I'm not going to do it if he doesn't, I'm supposed to write a parody and sing it with my Owsie hat on.
Oh, it's David is the champion. It's the We Are the Champions, but David is the champion. But I think you should write a parody about this season. We got to get you inspired to write a parody about this season.
Well, something needs to happen. So
it did. We got enough Patreons to do it.
We have enough Patreons?
Patrons. Why are there two different words?
Because Patreon is the website, and the people that support us through Patreon are called patrons. Like when you go to the movie theater, you are a patron of that movie theater. You get it?
How close are the tornadoes? That's all I need to know.
They're pretty close. They're in Mississippi traveling east. So, yes. So let me just fair warning, major tornado warnings going off. There is a window right there in front of me. So if in the middle of the podcast, I mean, this may make YouTube, history if I get killed in a tornado.
That could make us famous.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, be famous because you won't be around anymore.
Right. But but there's tornadoes, the tornado siren will go off, and of course Mike Kaôh will hear it because he heard a train that's 5 miles away from me one night.
I wonder if he heard my helicopter.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right, he did, didn't he?
Yes. He goes, do you have a train that goes by? And then I went, I don't know. And then next thing I know, he's sent me a list of the trains, and this is the exact train and what time it came by, and that's the one he heard on our podcast.
That's awesome.
I love Mike. He's awesome. Y'all, it is merge time. Initial thoughts. I'll do mine first because you did yours last time.
Okay.
Infection equals bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that your only one?
No. Nick gave me so many points for the double D grade that I now like Nick.
Oh my gosh.
And lastly, Nick gets everyone to talk to him. What the heck? I mean, maybe he is the king of all Survivor players. Everybody that talked to him told him everything.
If I was up by 100, I think Nick and Aubrey and Michelle got you all the way back up to at least a tie score.
Wait to see the points later on tonight.
But I'm going to have to open up my other laptop, which is noisy, to get the points. So,
I don't care.
But I'll do it later. Yeah, I'm going to do it closer to the time.
Yeah. So, all right. Oh, by the way, those in the chat room, am I synced now? Because, another thing I want to tell you about Mike K is Mike K spent time researching, going back and watching all our YouTube videos and figuring out when the the audio and video started going out of sync for me. And we figured out that the out of sync happened when I added the Yamaha mixer. So I've had my mic go into the mixer, and then there's a compressor on the mixer, and I've had it on a little bit, and then go into the Scarlett, and then to the thing. So apparently it's still not in sync, so it must not be that. Google Hangouts on air is a piece of beep. So, all right. What are your initial thoughts, David?
It took me a lot of time to figure out this first one as to who we were. But I think when it comes to it,
I'm a survivor.
Sorry. I was trying to pull up a radar so I
could not want to hear my initial thoughts.
No, I'm pulling up a radar to see if I'm going to die.
We've already heard Varner's thought tonight, so here's one. I think in our relationship that you're the toilet paper because you take more than I do, and I'm the toilet because I just flush it because I really don't care.
Wait.
So
I'm the toilet paper because I take more than you do.
Well, because you tweet for us and you do things like that, and you're more public, you get more stuff dumped on you.
And I get more crap.
You get, that word. And then I just flush it because I really don't care. I just, whatever comes, I just flush and flush and flush. Sometimes it gets backed up. So
yes. That is why I am not submitting our podcast for the podcast awards, because I will obsess over it and you won't care.
Which is why I said, what are podcast awards?
Right.
And Mark thought I was serious. So he explained to me what they were.
That was pretty funny. On the other hand, you obsess over how you look on video, and I think you look great.
Because I don't want to be on video, but otherwise.
That's true. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, let's see. Number 2, if last week's challenge was geared to give Scott a shooting advantage, Was this week's individual immunity challenge geared to give Deb an advantage from her waitressing experience? I would have thought she could have held that tray with those balls on it all day long. Anyway, sorry, that's still not gone. My only other thought about this episode, there's a lot of thoughts that were through. I got my notes, but I think our winter edit really shined in this episode. And the problem is, I think it could be one of two people. So, but I think this episode really shined a light on two ladies that have a very strong chance of making it to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to everybody else, even Nick had some little hiccups in his edit, although Nick got a really good episode, and not just for points. His strategy was pretty spot on in a few places, and he was basically narrating the episode, which was a shock because he hasn't spoken but like once or twice all season. And the person that I've been saying who is underrated, Julia, has once again disappeared from the face of the beach. Yeah. Not one word from Julia, which leads me to believe she's who knows what's going to happen to her, but it's not going to affect the end of the game. So,
all right,
that's it.
All right, night 16 gone. Sounds like
now, since we're watching live, what the benefit of watching taped means you can fast forward. Last night I watched it live.
Oh, I didn't.
I could not fast forward, so I was forced to watch what I don't like to watch, which is the first thing, the intro. So I was forced to watch it previously on. But you know what? Last night was a great previously on. I'm just going to give props to the editing because there were 7 points made in previously on. I'm going to read them real quick because I know we don't usually cover this.
Okay.
I was just so excited watching previously on that I jotted down. This season is a test of perseverance and will. Not will from Worlds Apart, but will from their personal will to play. Ty, Jason, and Neil have idols. Scott knows who has multiple idols. One tribe making new alliances, old ones torn apart, players making moves that they know will come back to bite them. A vote has changed at tribal, and now everything is up in the air. And I was super excited just from watching that previously on. That was a great previously on, and I completely forgot about the boat coming to the beach from the preview. I completely forgot about that. So I was not expecting that until later on when I had a feeling it was coming. But I completely forgot. So I'm thinking this is going to be an incredible merge episode. What a great opening line. So I just jotted him down because I never do. I don't like previously on because I think it teases too much about the episode. But I thought that was a great build-up for this episode.
All right, night 16. Sounds like everyone, including Joe and Aubrey, were supposed to vote Peter. So they didn't really show us that last episode.
Apparently that was the original plan because Scott came out and said, you guys change your minds and you didn't vote the way we said we were going to vote. So I can't trust that. Meanwhile, Joe's the one that said, we got to make a plan and stick to it. And apparently they went with the second plan and stuck to it. Or he did. He went with the second plan. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Scott made it clear that they were all supposed to vote for Peter.
Yeah. I mean, even to the point that Scott is ticked off and wants them both off, wants them both out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just me or is Scott incredibly confident? Like Nick level confident?
If you think he's confident now, wait till the merge.
Oh man.
Well, it's perfect though. He's now in the numbers. He's got the 3. He's against the 2. He's fine if they kept playing that way. And then we get the start of Aubrey's, story arc through this whole episode. She's in every other scene. Good for her. Aubrey's the future of the Brains tribe is that we're done. And now it's every person for themselves.
Right.
And that's kind of what she needs to do. She needs to separate herself from Joe, if at all possible. But she does get called to the carpet about writing Julia's name first. But I wrote Peter. Yeah, but you wrote her first. So if there's a reason not to like you, that's the reason.
And you know what she's saying? Yeah, because Survivor CBS producers wouldn't let me use another parchment.
I tried to change paper.
Guarantee you. All right. How about anything else before we go to day 17? Little Ty talk.
Yeah.
Ty and Chicken love each other. Anything else?
Joe feels like the chicken's going to have a longer life in the game than he will. So
yeah, that
was pretty funny. Morning after.
All right. Then we move over to the Chandlo. And, why isn't Neil burying the idol? He's just keeping it in his pocket.
Actually, it wasn't in his pocket. In one of his exit interviews, he confirmed that was just stuff he collected on the beach. It actually wasn't in his pocket, but they did a great job making us think it was.
Lesson learned. Don't carry stuff in your pocket then, because
especially that looks like an idol.
Well, unless you don't have it and you want people to think you have an idol. Too bad Keith didn't have pockets last season. Keith could have stuffed some shells in his pocket and fooled everybody.
I think he held it in his hand, tried to cover it up, and nobody still believed him.
Wow.
But I think it's pretty cool. He's out there fishing by hand. No poles or stick. He's just trying to grab fish.
Yeah.
But good on Sydney though to be paying attention.
Yeah. And we get another confident person, Jason. I'm pleased as punch right now, and I hold all the power.
Well, it's good to hold an idol. It's even better to know who else has an idol. So he's right that they know. He's
That's
just wrong as to where it is on his cargo pant pocket.
Will says, David, your hat and T-shirt are in different comic universes, and it's very distracting.
I'm doing that to help my buddy so that he has a chance during the Mikko challenge tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. So here comes.
Thank you for noticing.
Here comes a boat with a note. Little Dr. Seuss there for you. And of course they're gonna merge. And Debbie's like, people want to be pulled in. I'm playing the offense. So we get a little preview of what's going to happen later on in the episode of how offensive, how on the offense Debbie's going to play.
And we also get Michelle, to me, has a big confessional moment in that she's happy to make the merge. Everybody wants that, but she was in a good spot now with Chandlo before the merge, and she's unsure what's going to happen on the other side. So her future is unknown. I mean, her and then Debbie got a big confessional, which you just mentioned. So that was, to me, I always listen for the first confessionals once the boat shows up, once the merge hits, because on the other side we also get good confessionals.
Yep. All right, it's time for merge.
Are you having trouble paying attention? You seem distracted.
Well, over on my other screen is a radar of the huge storms coming to my house.
Okay. Did you invite them, or are they just coming unannounced?
I did not invite them. No. Aubrey has new life, she says. Once they merge, she's not as nervous anymore.
No, this is exactly what she needs. It's the opposite of Michelle. She was in a bad spot. She knew she was in trouble. She's going to have to play hard to get away from Joe to save herself. And this is exactly what she needs. Yeah. She was worried about separating from Joe, a brain, and now she sees Deb and Neil, and it's a new life. Her family's back together, and she's got opportunities.
Yep. Is it just me, or was there more alcohol at this merge than there has been recently?
Seems like this is the first alcohol we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Because they had Julia on there, and usually when they have someone that's underage, they don't have as much alcohol.
Do we need to call someone? Well, it's been a year, so it's probably out of her system by now. They figure she's in college.
I'm not worried about her drinking it. I'm surprised that they had more alcohol, but it apparently did its work. Yeah.
I like Tice gets the first confessional. He points out that Scott is his only ally because if they figure out that he was part of Anna leaving, that's good. He's gotten somebody. He said, well, it's kind of logical though because he knows about my idol, so I kind of have to trust him. Yeah, you kind of have to trust him now. And then we get Deb, who seems to always have a bottle in her hand during this whole feast. Even afterwards, reveals to Nick that, she hopes they can still cuddle, even though they're now a big family instead of a small family. That's all she wanted. And, so.
Yeah. Little
I love Jason's comeback. Jason looks at Ty.
That was great. That was great.
And then we get the start of the Nick show.
Well, hold on. Before you
go ahead.
Am I the only one who was looking for little slips of paper in the bottles?
No. Well, I wasn't looking at the bottles. I was looking on the cloth.
I kept looking in the bottles because they kept showing us people downing bottles. So I kept expecting to see a little piece of paper in the bottom of a bottle.
I didn't look the second time because when Nick started talking about people drinking too much, that's when I figured why they were showing us the bottles. How they were constantly showing us the bottles.
All right, so go on with the Nick show, David.
We get Nick's narration starting, how he says, I'm just listening here, and I'm kind of realizing that the brawns are going to be arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
They're very confident. The brains are going to be kind of the opposite. They like to hide in the shadows. He says he's aligned with Michelle, but he needs to slow it down and let everyone bring stuff to him. Let him gather information, which is right, and then he can slice them all up. And that's a great confessional. That's what you want to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially when you got people going around trying to hook everybody in. You don't want to be seen as that person. Deb obviously put a target on her later on, and he doesn't want to be seen that way, and that's smart. I mean, what I want to know is what was he doing on the beauty tribe all this time? Was he just sitting back, not talking? Because it sounds like he should have been closer to Michelle. Their first talk didn't sound like they were as close as they should have been, but I mean, maybe they were. So, but a good confessional from Nick, the start of many.
I thought so. I mean, it's like they haven't been showing us this, Nick.
Right.
So Debbie confirms with Aubrey that brains are all together, like toilet paper and toilets.
Yeah. And she mentions Joe. So I guess Aubrey's got to let Joe back in because she was ready to separate from him. But now that it's 4-4-3, I guess they got to be back strong together.
Yeah. Nick talking to beauties, Aubrey and Neil, and they tell him stuff.
Now this is really smart because this is what I should have done at Durham. This is what Spencer did right in Cambodia. And they asked, are the beauties going to stick together? And Nick's like, no, you're kind of going to have to play us piece by piece because you're going to need two of us. And I can probably get Michelle, but don't look at us as a force of four. I mean, because they don't seem to be, but at the same time, the brains could say, maybe we need to bring the brawn over and take out all the beauties. Yeah. So Nick's showing himself as a free agent, which I think is pretty smart. You know, he's one person and he can work on another person. So if we get Nick, we have the possibility of having Michelle because the four of us might not be able to get Michelle, but Nick can probably get Michelle. So that's another good play I thought he did. Right. He didn't show himself as part of a big alliance. Right. He's alone, and I'll do what I can do to get the numbers. And yeah, they were just open to telling Nick whatever they wanted to tell him.
Let's just tell Nick. It's like Nick wore a shirt that said, "I'm a producer. It's okay." Because then he goes to Braun, and they tell him a whole bunch of stuff.
It's like he said, look, I'm out of the game already, so just tell me what you want to tell me. I'm a confessional person. I take confessionals. Tell me what's going on in the game. And they did.
Yeah. I mean, Jason and Scott even tell him about Neil and Ty's idol.
In the next scene.
I know. It's like Nick's going, wow, this is really happening? Nice.
That's what he was saying. I wonder if there was too much alcohol, in which the producers are going, yeah, baby, because we like all this information getting shared. It just mixes the pot. And Nick's like, thank you guys so much. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do, but I can really use that information. Thank you.
That's right. All right. Anything else before we get to the next day on the new Dara tribe or Dara tribe? Or?
Let's see. Well, last notes are Nick feels that they're sharing too much. Like you said about Ty's idol. And, I love Nick saying another good line from Nick. This should be worth 2 confessional points. Nick says that Jason and Scott's overconfidence will blind them to a blind side. You know, he's just, I keep getting reminders that we're going to be starting the
yes, I know. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Our podcast is starting in 30 minutes, David.
But, so, and I got other texts for other reasons, but anyway, that's it. No, I got everything. Nick's just writing a good resume to start blindsiding in this season. It's really good.
All right. So then we have day 18. It's the Dara tribe, which I believe post some extra scenes. This was Joe's name.
Yeah, Joe wanted to contribute something this season, and he found out the Cambodian name for star is Dara. So that's where it came from. They said there's really some limitations and rules on what they can use for words and stuff. Yeah, so Joe came right out. He knew that he could probably get away with a simple word like that, so he offered it. They took it, simple and easy, and they ran with it.
Interesting. So someone suggests a name like Nincompoop, and production goes, no, it ain't happening.
Jason probably said, what about Team Beard? And they said, no.
Jason suggested STWDD because he likes our show. And they said, who is that? And no.
First they said no, then they said, and who is that?
By the way, who is that?
What is that?
I wonder how many of these players now, because we've been on the air long enough that I bet some of the current players have, I mean, maybe not a ton of them, but some of them may have heard our show before they've gone on. I know Dan Foley had, right? Before he played. And so I'm just wondering how many of them, like, do we get talked about out there on the island?
I know that Kelly did before she went on Cambodia.
Yes.
But that was kind of obvious. She's been on our show.
We had asked Kelly specifically, please bring us up as much as possible. No, I'm just kidding.
Please take our T-shirts with you, do whatever.
See if they'll let you bring the T-shirt with you. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm wearing underneath. Oh, okay.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, Neil shows Aubrey his volcano. And that's not as dirty as it sounds.
That scene seemed like it took like 3 seconds and then jumped. Was that?
Yeah.
It didn't go any
Just,
further.
You know, hey, look at this horrible thing, and then it's to set us up. You know.
So many of you already know, if you read the exit interviews, which are very informative, that this is day 18. On day 15, it started as a pimple on his knee. It wasn't a cut or anything from a challenge. It just started as a bump. And I want to say it was, I'm not sure which day it was, but they did lance it one time to drain it.
Pimple.
Yeah. Well, it turned into that. It was just a matter of days. You know, no soap, no disinfectant, nothing to clean it with. So they did lance it one time to try and clean it out, but it just didn't get any better.
Wow. That is unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah. Good thing it wasn't on his face. That would have been really awkward.
Uncamera friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them do have them. Scott, I think, either has one here or up here. And it's
I have advice for you.
Mhm.
If you're ever just, you know, cruising around YouTube and you're done watching car crash compilations and epic fail videos.
Compilations? Did you say compilations?
Compilations.
It's compilations.
Or you say potato, I say potato.
Let me have one word correction on you, since you have 12 on too many of them.
You just did. And you're done watching that. Do not, I stress,
Oh
do
gosh.
not look up popping a pimple, because just don't. I'm just fair warning, don't do it. Okay.
And he was already on antibiotics.
You will throw up.
They'd already given them to him,
Oh, you had they?
and it just did not work. Yeah.
All right. So Debbie plays super aggressive with Ty. And I'm wondering, does she not see Ty's body language? Because she's very aggressive. Very aggressive. Like, I mean, did I say she was aggressive? She was.
There's still a bottle floating around this morning, because later on she hands it to Nick. So there's still a bottle out there somewhere being drunk from. That's not a water bottle. So I don't know.
Why?
I don't want to say that, but she seems so calm and confident. It's obvious that she had been up, but Ty's like, he blinked his eyes open and she's right there.
Yeah.
Ready to talk to him.
And then she's like, okay, deal. And he's like, okay. You know? And then in front of Ty, you know, all of a sudden he's not there. We got him. He's in. I'm thinking, you're talking about me?
Yeah. I mean, is this like the first time we've talked? Or but I wrote down she feels like she's one of the few people playing offense.
Yeah.
It's because no, she's just one of the few people playing offense in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
Nick is playing great offense, but in pieces.
Yes.
You know, and everybody's watching Deb. And you're right. She, he's in. We got him.
Yeah.
I was like, you got me for what?
One of my favorite lines, and this is probably in the Mikko challenge, so I'm giving the answer away, is Aubrey saying, she's not being very finessey. I just thought it was awesome.
Spell check did not want to spell that word right.
Yeah.
They keep
Spelled
typing it.
finesse-y. That's what I
That's what I did too.
So. Meanwhile, Jason to Julia, with Michelle in there and Sydney in there too, I think. Braun and Beauty need to get together. And Michelle's not buying this.
Mm-mm.
Julia, she's cool with it, but
Michelle doesn't like people that just flow confidence, just flow control, I guess.
Right. Braun is too controlling.
Yeah. Now, before they left the fire, Deb does the same thing with Nick. And she just looks at him and says, Nick, are you with us?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's when she hands him a bottle and gets up like it's all done. And she just looks so mellow. And I'm not saying she had drunk or anything, but I'm just saying she looks so relaxed.
I know.
And she kind of looks kind of arrogant about this. And what happened?
They gave him brownies.
Oh, those jungle brownies.
Brownie
Those
for the
famous
morning.
brownies.
Just for Debbie.
They saved the brownies for breakfast. There you go.
Yes.
So you're right. You know, it's
all right. So Neil and Aubrey are talking on the beach, and they're like, Debbie's messing up our game. Will she ever shut up? You know?
Yeah, she's irritating people. I mean, that's pretty harsh when they realize that she's actually bothering people. And I guess they could see it with Ty. Maybe they saw it with Nick. And then Aubrey starts talking to Nick about I think before Aubrey and Neil talked, she's talking to Nick, and Nick just says she's awful. I didn't take it to mean she's a mean person, but I took it to mean she's kind of blowing it up. she's being too obvious, and she's going to ruin it for everybody. You know, she's not a mean person. But he also doesn't like the fact that she seems to be speaking for 4 people.
That's right.
And that's control. And he doesn't like anyone to have more control than he does, because he's right. He's in a fractured group. His beauty tribe is not necessarily together right now. They could be later.
Yeah.
But he sees 4 people working together with one voice.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that one voice. And I'm thinking,
smart thing.
yes, find that leader, take him out, and you can separate the rest.
Yeah. So, another great Aubrey quote. I'm getting a good roller coaster out of Survivor, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, she went from the low of changing her vote, getting fussed at by Scott. Who knows how Joe treated her that night after the Peter vote. Next day, she's in a merge. And then the next day, is it the next day? Yeah, it's probably the next day. She finds out her buddy's got an idol.
Yeah, day 18. She finds out he has an idol.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? Good for her for asking.
Absolutely.
Because she kind of did what Joe did, only with less aggression.
Yeah.
You surprise somebody with a question, and their reaction is going to give you the answer, right? And he, you know, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I've already paused long enough now, so she knows I have it. Yeah, I have it. You know, she caught him off guard.
Yep.
I thought that was really smart.
It is smart compared to what, like Jason was talking to Michelle. According to Michelle, Jason came off as, this is what I know, this is what's going down, and this is what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, Michelle wants to be involved. You know, she wants to be part of it. This is why Michelle and Aubrey, to me, really got good edits, as did Nick. But this whole time before the immunity challenge, I'm thinking Nick is getting so many confessionals. I wonder if he gets Sarah Lucina blindsided this episode. I mean, he was playing so many parts that I wonder if people were seeing, but nobody was talking about how Nick sure is talking to a lot of people. You know, we didn't get that. We just got Deb was talking to a lot of different people.
Right.
So we didn't get it. So Nick was apparently playing a good game, unless they just didn't show it.
Yeah.
But what a good feeling that Aubrey's sitting there with her buddy talking about how they can play his idol to keep them in the game.
Yeah.
You know, Ty talked about that with Anna, but it didn't quite work out. So I wonder if he would have actually played it for her.
I don't know.
I think he probably would have played it for himself, and then she probably still would have gone home. And your pick would have been right. Your driving prediction.
Yeah. What was my driving prediction? I don't remember.
I think it was Aubrey. I'm pretty sure it was Aubrey.
All right, immunity challenge. By the way, once we get back from the immunity challenge, I had to stop taking notes because we started an hour early.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be you running the
okay.
Probe starts off with, I was talking to medical. Okay. Here's the deal. Probe's is standing there knowing good and well that whoever wins this immunity challenge is moot, because they're not going to tribal council that night. Because as you and I both know, because survivors have told us, they go to medical before they go to the challenge. So I guarantee you medical had already told Probst, we're pulling, or we want to pull Neil from the game. And Probst and the producers are like, okay, well, let's go ahead and play this out and and stuff like that. So, you know, they've already been to medical tent. Probst already knew.
Yep.
He was just acting.
Absolutely. And in fact, Neil admits he did not think he was going to get to compete in that challenge. In one of his exit interviews, he says, I thought they were going to pull me then. I didn't think they'd let me go back to camp. So he kind of got his hopes up just a little when he went back to camp, but he kind of knew he was on a short term.
Yeah. So balls on balancing table challenge. After seasons and seasons of Probst only hinting at crass jokes, he finally just blatantly makes some middle school boy jokes in the middle of the challenge. Or at least they air it.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Good for Nick, too, for putting his tray on his hand and his arm.
Yeah.
And when they showed the other people, I think Neil was doing the same, but not many others.
Yeah.
But when they added the second ball, some people were using their forearm at the same time. So good on Nick.
Yeah. Nick, Ty, and Julia. I really thought Julia was going to win. But once they went to the 3, she just never got control again.
Yeah.
So then I thought Ty was going to pull it off. But man, Nick, what an episode for Nick.
Exactly.
I'm
telling you, that guy
how many points he got.
I bet he set a record for points. If he'd have had an idol, he'd have blown it out of the water.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about that? We get a Neil confessional.
Yeah, he says it now. It comes down to the 4 brains against the brawn bullies.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so Beauty is splintered in this episode. I think the preview for next week makes it seem different, but Beauty's up for grabs. They're the free agents. So it's brawn against the brains.
Yeah. All right. So day 19. Why don't you go ahead and take us from here?
The first thing I wrote down is we finally, Nick and Michelle will finally get a tribal, 19 days, and now it's not 19 days; it's even longer. But they're the last two to go to tribal, and of course I get a cough, right when I'm supposed to start talking. But Nick says after this vote, the dominoes are going to fall and things will be obvious. So this is an extremely important vote because you're going to have half the tribe mad at you for not going with them. Right, and things are going to change. And so Nick talks to Jason and Scott. I think that, and he basically says it's 7 against 4. So confirming, and Aubrey would be the one to go. He completely agrees with them. And I loved his confessional here. Again, Jason and Scott are overconfident. When everyone feels safe is when you do your damage. Right.
Well, what he's saying is, I'm leaning towards LeBron. This was the whole gist of his quote. And I loved it, just like you did. I'm leaning towards them, but man, they're so confident. Now's when you strike. Right? Yep. I'm liking Nick more and more. They're finally showing us the quality of play that they haven't been showing us.
Yep. We'll never know if he might have flipped it, but I think he stays with Aubrey this vote, and the next vote he possibly does something. Yeah.
Well, and then Neil adds to this when he's talking to with Nick and Joe about how Jason and Scott, man, if we keep them in the game, they're going to win challenges and stuff. You know? Because remember, Neil's strategy before the game was, I'm not going to be winning challenges until it benefits me.
Right.
To win them. So his whole, I'm telling you, I think Neil could have won this thing. But Neil's whole strategy was that, and this was playing right into it. These guys are challenge beasts. We're not,
Yep.
You are, Nick, but they're not. So
yeah. And Jason, Neil even talks about knowing he would have won some challenges going forward. He's confident that he is. He's a physical threat. So that was good that he was playing it off on somebody else. Why not?
Yeah. By the way, I love these buffs. These merge buffs. Probably my favorite buffs ever. And ours are in the mail, David.
Is it purple?
Yes, it's awesome. Yes. Purple and black. I can't wait to get them.
I know.
We're going to get them this week. By the way, go to our website, upper left corner on any of our pages except for the front page. Click on that link. You'll go to Buff USA and use a promo code Survivor Talk 10, and you'll get 10% off the Survivor buffs.
Speaking of buffs, we did not see them open up any crates. We did not see them hand out any buffs. It just kind of flowed. But you know what? I will pass on that to see Scott carry Jason up on the beach any day of the week. Yeah. That was the funniest thing.
Yeah. It was a special moment.
It was. It made Jason look very small in Scott's arms.
That's hard to do because he's a big guy.
Yeah. All right. So, and it's funny, they talked about with Neil, Joe, and Nick, they were at the well. They talked about voting out Jason or Scott. And Neil mentioned, so long as one of them doesn't have an idol, as long as there's not an idol out there. So that's good that they keep thinking that. While they were there, they were at the beauty beach. Neil does confess later on in his exit interview that he did find the beauty tube. So he knew there was another idol in play. He knew somebody else had an idol because it wasn't in there.
Oh, nice.
Yep. A lot of good exit interviews from Neil. I like Neil. I've always said all season, he's smart, he's savvy. We're just not getting a lot from him because at the time he didn't have to. The biggest thing he had to do was blindside Liz, and that was his big move so far, but he's very observant. He says a lot of neat stuff. So I definitely think he's going to play again.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we went from that. Then we go to Debbie, Aubrey, and Michelle in the ocean, out talking in the water.
Oh yeah,
and
barely surviving the ocean.
Yes. Yeah, trying to. Can y'all just sit still? We're trying to sit still. And we have to widen the angle here. But then they'd probably show, Jason over there doing an aqua dump. But anyway, we'll keep it on these three. So, but Michelle is trying to have a good conversation. You can tell she's wanting to talk, but at the same time, not wanting to reveal, wanting to let them pick the names. She goes to the point of almost saying something that says, well, what do you guys think? And that was another great thing. I thought always let other people come up with the names, with the suggestions.
Yeah.
And Deb's like, well, let's do something right now. Let's just plan it right now. And I did that the first 5 minutes after my tribe formed in Durham. So I said, let's just get a name right now. We'll don't have to talk about it later. And she says Jason or Scott, they need to go. And Aubrey is still not sold that they have Nick and Michelle. She's still a little worried about that, and rightfully so. And if that's her late gut feeling, that's a good gut feeling because she was right.
Yeah.
I think Nick and Michelle were leaning. So she says, we can still have to play the idol.
Yeah.
But then we get another great confessional from Michelle. The other person I think is getting a good arc now is she said, I'm still accessing relationships. I need to figure out what is best for me. So Michelle and Aubrey, both on the Double D Brigade, are, to me, getting strong story arcs now. I think one of the two of them will probably win. The two of them may be in the end with somebody else, but I just think those two are getting such a good, savvy, strategic edit right now that they're seeing things that helps us better understand what's going on and even enjoy the show more. I love that side of the show. And I think Michelle and Aubrey are both getting good confessionals and revealing stuff that I love and I just eat up about the show.
Yeah. Hey, Patty wants to know in our chat room, why do you think Scott told Nick not to tell Sydney? What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is that they want Scott to feel like he's one of them, one of three.
No, they want Nick to feel that way.
Yeah, they want Nick, yes, thank you, to feel that way. They don't want him to feel like he's one of four. Because if you're one of four, you're number four. Always assume you're number four. Yeah. So Scott turns around and at every conversation, yes, make that your three. Yeah. This is our new three. Oh, this is our new three. Now we're at the water. This is our new three. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, the less people know, the less people that can control it or do something about it. I mean, why tell Sydney that about two idols? She knows about one. Why tell about two? So I completely agree.
Shows you where Sydney is in that alliance with Jason and Scott.
Exactly.
And I think part of what's going to happen next week, she probably already realizes this, and she's going to realize it even more. Why not go with the women? In all honesty, how about just the women just take over the whole season?
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Let's see. Nick and Michelle. Okay, this is where Nick and Michelle bring all their intel to the tree. And they have the talk at the shelter, which is like everybody's gone. So this is good. And I love Michelle says, we need to keep Jason because nobody's going to vote for him. We need to keep Scott because he's got money from basketball. Nobody's going to give him the money. Keep them around because they won't get any votes, and go with Braun and vote out Aubrey. And Nick likes this because Nick feels like he can manipulate the Brauns.
Yeah.
And that's good thinking. That's right. You need to manipulate people. Yep. But I'm sitting there thinking, Michelle's going, yeah, I need to keep Jason and Scott. So eventually I'll get rid of you, but I need to keep Jason and Scott so I can get to the end with those two and then I can win. So, excuse me. But, so yeah, Nick also gives the words of death as in we're in the swing position, which some people say and suddenly get voted out for being in the wrong spot. Yeah. So that's all I have until the boat shows up.
All right, let's talk about that. Of course, we know this is all a show. This is Probst and production going, okay, well, we still want to have an episode and we want to run this challenge. And so why not just play it off because it's not this. I mean, they were going to medevac him in the medical tent. Well, they're not going to show that. So they just kind of built the drama here with acting like they want to see people.
Absolutely. Like I said, he didn't think he'd go back to camp. He had already packed his stuff.
Well, tell me some of the stuff Neil said, because I've been on a college visit day all day long and haven't seen anything.
I mean, a lot of that, most of it's on our Facebook page, but he's been worried for days. What?
I haven't been able to.
No,
see
I'm telling the listeners go to our Facebook page
in our Facebook group. Yeah,
you do that all the time. I'm just kidding. But anyway, he's been waiting. I think he's been waiting for this medevac. He knew it wasn't getting better. The antibiotics weren't working. His knee was erupting. It seemed like often.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't getting better. And he packed his stuff. I want to say before that immunity challenge, knowing that they would probably pull him, because Probst even mentions after Caleb, these people were getting medically checked before and after every challenge.
Right.
So like you said, I was joking this morning. We were talking to Andy and Steve, and I said, you know what? Here's the conversation at the medical tent after the immunity challenge. Hey, did you see Neil? Yeah, he's not good. And Probst says, really? That bad? And they're like, yeah, he's infected. It's near his joint. He's gonna have to come out. Oh man, yeah. All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's get who's available? Well, Dr. Rupert's available. All right, we'll get a boat ready. Get all the cameras out there. Instead of 4 cameras, we're gonna have 8. And we're gonna have this big make sure they're all spread out on the beach. Somehow spread their chairs out. Make sure they're all spread out on the beach when we pull up, and then we'll just go up there and we'll look at everybody. We'll do like we're doing at medical, and then suddenly we'll say, Neil, let's look at you.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny when they're going through people. I I like watching old war movies. I like the history of it and the story of it. And one of my favorites is The Great Escape. And when they're on the train trying to get out of Germany or wherever they are at the time, but they're trying to get out, they're on the train with their fake papers. And the Gestapo comes through and starts asking everybody for papers. And one of the escapees either doesn't have papers or his papers are bad, but he does not want to get checked. And the look on his face was, they're coming and I don't want to be seen. They're coming and I don't want to be seen. And that's the look that Neil had.
Yeah.
Because Neil knew he was gone. He knew that they were coming for him.
Okay.
It was just a matter of time. And they were just doing checkups on everybody else.
So that begs the question then. He knows he's going home. Why doesn't he give his idol to someone and his closest ally, Aubrey? Why not do that?
He said that when he was talking to Aubrey and they were sitting on the beach and Aubrey was having a high moment, during that conversation, she said, and whether she was joking or not, Neil didn't find it funny at the time because he knew his life was short in the game. She said, I would slit your throat if I had to get to the end. You know, and that comment he said did not sit well with me at the time.
Yeah.
So, but he did, however, give her his sport coat and put something in the pocket, which was not the idol, but he made it look like he was putting something in the pocket. Now, we did not see this on the show. He said this in an exit interview.
Okay.
So he said, did I mess her up? Maybe. Did I make her look better? Maybe. But he said it was in the moment. He said if he thought about it, he might do it different next time. But you know what? Him leaving saved her because he knew that she was a target. Yeah. He knew that one of those two was going to play the idol or one of those two was going to go home. So him leaving was kind of his way of saying, you're safe for another tribal. You might make it even farther.
Okay.
So he kept it for a family heirloom, but doing it again, he might do it different. He admits he might rethink it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think CBS showed us that whole dramatic interaction in confessionals with Aubrey for no reason. So that's going to come back. Either,
right.
You know, we're going to, that's going to have some kind of play in the game later. And they didn't show the coat thing. So I think it's going to play in the game where she's in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. Anything else before we move on?
Yeah. I want to read real quick. Sorry. Got to find the group. Mike K posted Aubrey's final. She had the last confessional.
Okay.
And it was really good. She said, I didn't think I'd be crying this much on Survivor, but there have been ups and downs. And right when I thought we were going to get some traction under us, my biggest ally is out of the game. You know, and like I said, first episode, second day, she had a bad day. Neil was already planning his resume on what to say. He wanted to take Aubrey to the end. He was going to talk about how she was struggling the first couple of days. You know, he wanted to take that and use that against her. She talks about Neil being gone. She's got this thing on her leg now. And there's no way the beauties joined the brains because they just lost somebody. The idol went home with Neil. But Survivor is a path you've paved your way by yourself. It's like going on the Oregon Trail and down the hill. Sometimes you get dysentery and die. You have to pave your own way. And I mean, if that's not a person get to the end quote, then I'm not sure what is, because her and Michelle had a lot, and Nick too, had a lot of good confessionals tonight. And I'm telling you, you probably scored 110 points on this little bitty episode.
I know. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're about 5 minutes till our normal starting time. We started an hour early because there's tornadoes coming my way. So we wanted to hopefully get it all on the air. Preferably not me dying on the air, but getting the show done before the tornadoes come.
So,
or before my power goes out.
So the episode ends, and I'll admit I was a little disappointed because so much was built up. So much work was done before this Medevac for this episode. And it worked out for the folks that were going to vote out Aubrey or Neil anyway, because Neil left. Aubrey's now alone.
Oh, you hear the tornado warning?
No.
There's a tornado warning going on. Yeah, I should be in a basement, but that's okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let me keep going. So, but I kind of felt deflated in the sense when it ended and we got nothing from it. But at the same time, I still loved it because so much now. I love the merge. I love when all these people come, and I love Nick working so hard. I love Deb working so hard in front of everybody. But at the same time, I think Aubrey's chances just went up because she's not seen anymore as the girl with Neil. She's now seen as Aubrey.
Right.
And I think she's not going to be targeted as quick. Now they're either going to have to go after Deb. They're going to go after Nick because he won immunity. You know, I mean, things are going to shift. I don't think Aubrey is not going to be at the bottom of my rankings. Why are you smiling so
Because I'm nervous. There's a tornado warning going off, and I'm listening to it. While
I'm going to bring up my laptop so we can do these points. We might do it out of order before we get to the feedback or whatever. I just want to get this. Well, I want to bring up the laptop.
Oh, okay. Well, meanwhile, let me do this real quick. Hello. Where am I?
Hey guys, this is Jennifer, and I just wanted to steal a moment during my favorite podcast to remind you to use D&D's Amazon link when you shop at Amazon. Not only do you get everything you need at Amazon, you're also helping D&D continue their great podcasts. So always use www.stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping, or make it even easier and just use their links on their website and the D&D Facebook group. That's all I wanted to say. Now back to more D&D.
All right.
All right. I tell you what, while you're getting
ground thing.
why don't you get a flashlight just in case? So I'm going to mute while you're reading the first feedback so you don't hear my.
Oh,
I'm going to mute. You don't hear the laptop running.
From Emily. All right, just a second. It's merge time. Emily from Finland. Hi, D&D. Hopefully you both feel fine after being sick for so long. The episode was expected when Neil got evacuated because I really liked him. David, did you edit this?
I did some, yes.
Okay, all right. Because sometimes when people from Finland or other places, not just Finland, but, you know, English isn't their first language, sometimes we have to adjust it so that it sounds, you know, like...
Yes, we're not picking on Finland at all.
Yeah, we're not picking on Finland. Not at all. All right, here we go. The episode was expected when Neil got evacuated because I really liked him. Sure, I predicted that he would be evacuated, but I would have preferred the person not to be him. I won't be doing a long feedback because I don't feel like it, but it's the least that I can do for your podcast. Thank you. Brains. Actually, it's not the least you can do. There's this thing called Patreon. Anyway. Brains. I think that the brains will be good swing votes if the editors overplayed the quote next time on unquote with the bronze breaking up. Beauty, they also seem to be in a good position. If either side doesn't target them, I'll be amazed. Bronze. If the Braun Alliance breaks up, I think that Storm will come out and then be voted out. It was interesting to see Debbie's winner's edit take a tumble as she was shown to play badly, which is never a good sign for a winner. Now I would like to talk about Neil. I really hope that he comes back because the way that he went out was unfair. In his day after video, he mentioned multiple times about having a second chance, which I hope he gets along with Caleb. Troy, season 24, Ken, season 18, Ian, season 10, Sean, season 4, and Greg, season 1. And if you are saying that he won't be getting second chance because he was boring, it was because of the edit. They could have made him look like a really good player, but because he was the Medevac, he didn't get the edit that he deserved. Predictions. Sydney will get voted out and Ty wins immunity. This was your friend from Finland. I'll hear you guys later. Nakalim. Oh, wait. Nakamilin. Whatever. Nakamin. Oh, well. Do you guys still even know what that means? I could be saying something really bad, like listen to other podcasts or vote for Trump. I don't want to get political, but I'm just saying. ... Thank you, Emily.
I wonder if it's Nakimine.
I doubt it's Nakimine. I doubt it's that. Nakimine.
Oh, I didn't say it with that type of an accent.
Let's see.
Audio.
All right, here we go. Audio. This is Miriam, a.k.a. Vader Girl.
Hi, David and Dwayne. This is I Am, aka Vader Girl, also known as Miriam. Thanks for all you guys do. Love you guys so much. I have a question. Really enjoyed last night's episode. I was very, very sad to see Ice Cream Man go, Neil. Very sad to see anybody go out like that. It was just kind of a simple way to go out with a, you know, when a scratch or a sore becomes an infection and is life-threatening. It's just sad to see it happen like that. Where's the tea tree oil? But anyways, my question is this. What do you guys think the chances are for Kylo Jason to be the winner? Do you think he's getting a winner's edit? Although he is somewhat being labeled by Probst and others as a bully, I do think he is still getting a winner's edit, a la Russell Hantz, who he said was the only person to ever play the game correctly, though Russell didn't win. I'm wondering if Jason's going to be our winner. And I just think that he's somewhat got a winner's edit because they keep including the fact that he has 2 daughters, he's been in the military, and he's got, he does a lot of work with autism awareness. So what is your guys' thoughts? My fantasy team is slowly being depleted with Neil now gone also. And one of my only hopes here is Kylo Jason. Come on, Vader's fantasy team. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do. Bye-bye.
Yay. Good job, Mir I Am.
What do you think of Jason's chances of winning?
Oh, it's good. Well, it's better than average.
Yeah, I think his chances normally would be good, but going by the edit, I think he makes the finale episode. I'm just not sure he makes the finale.
Okay.
I don't know. Everybody keeps talking about blindsiding him. Everybody keeps targeting him, even though he keeps making it by. Right. I think he's smart enough and savvy enough to play. I think he can do that. But at the same time, he kind of brushed Michelle away. Right. Michelle's not necessarily going to him. We haven't really heard from Ty and Julia as much about him. So I don't know. We'll see. If Nick likes him, he'll work with him. It works for Nick. So
okay, now it's after our normal start time, and the viewers just jumped up. So a lot of people didn't get our message because there's a lot of tornadoes coming my way. We started an hour early, so I apologize if you just now came on and caught us. David's got one more feedback to read. It's from Will the Giant Ninja.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonderlick again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. No, I'm not going to read it like Will through the whole podcast.
Why'd you change your hat?
Huh?
Why'd you change your hat? That's going to confuse people when they're watching.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Shut up.
Well, here we are. We're past the swap, past the merge, and down to 10. 3 brains, 3 bronze, and 4 beauties. And it's anyone's game. So it's time for the Giant Ninja's power rankings. Just a reminder, these rankings are not a prediction at the end and win. So without further ado, here goes. Number 10, Agent Joe. He's a solid player, but it doesn't look like he's respected. And to play the old school, no pun intended, game that he's trying to play, being respected by the other players is a must. I could see folks, and that's all I have. Do you have the feedback document in front of you?
What? Yeah.
What does it say after it says player is a must? I could see folks
aligning with him for the sake of using his vote, but I simply can't see anyone voting for him at the end. Jeffra.
Okay. I got it from there. Number 9, Jeffra or Julia. Ty and Scott were completely ready to dump Julia last week to save themselves. Nick has no strong allegiance to her. Her only real ally in the game seems to be Michelle. And this week we learned that Michelle and Nick are closer than Michelle and Julia. Julia is a floater. She needs to keep herself in the majority and not rock the boat. But unless she makes a few big moves and gets credit for them, she's not going to win. Number 8, Little Debbie. I love Debbie, but she's not winning this game. We learned that this week. Unless she's sitting with Julia or Joe somehow, because everyone else beats her. Everyone else.
Hey, David, look.
I saw that.
All that red, it's coming right at. See that little blue dot? Yeah. It's going to be a fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Number 7, just in the nick of time. 2 weeks ago, I thought Nick was a dead man walking. By the way, that is this Sunday, the finale of The Walking Dead. But anyway, we will still do our patron podcast. But last week and last night, he started showing us why he was cast. Yes, he's still egotistical, and he's way too eager to control Michelle. But Nick is sociable and a very strong challenge threat. If he stays in the numbers and manages not to be the biggest threat, he could survive for a while. On the other hand, he could see himself as the best challenge competitor left and find himself voted out because of that. Number 6, do you like scary movies? Sydney. I have to admit that I'm going outside the edit on this one. I'm still very concerned about Sydney's other personalities, Storm and Rebecca. She keeps it at bay so far, but if the crazy comes out, Sydney's a goner. Number 5, Aubrey does not look like Fred Flintstone, David. I would love to put Aubrey higher. So, for the record, that tweet was not about, or that post was not about Aubrey looking like Fred Flintstone. It was about her top looking like Fred Flintstone's top. And in fact, Aubrey loved it. So there you go. I was not saying she looks like Fred. She was one of my very favorite players left in the game. She would have been voted out this week, but for Neil's Medevac. But that was only because everyone thought Neil had an idol. With Neil out of the game, Aubrey is not as big a threat to the majority, and she's able to work with just about anyone. If she can manufacture a new coalition of bottom feeders, Aubrey can do some serious damage in this game, and the edit is suggesting that she may be a major player from here on out. I hope so. 4, yes, it's a real bow tie. Ty beats anyone in this game if he's sitting there at the end, which is why he won't be sitting there at the end. Number 3, he's not that big, Scott. Scott is what Uncle Cliffy would have been if Cliff had understood the game. He's what Jeff Kent would have been if Kent hadn't been so fixated on Pinner. Scott is a huge physical threat, no pun intended, and he's likely to be targeted by the silent majority when he's not immune. But if he can get himself to the end, he might win on likability, especially if he's there with Jason. Number 2, Michelle Ma Bell. Sons this I can't read that. What does that say? I don't read Spanish, and you're looking at radars. So number 2, what does that say for number 2?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
You're listening to the radar now.
Dude, lightning just struck 2 miles from my house. Michelle Mabel sont des mots qui vont très bien ensemble.
Just like the Beatles song, Michelle is appealing and quirky and uncontroversial. She's nobody's absolute favorite, but she's everybody's second or third favorite. She's able to work with anybody going forward. She's likable, she's not a threat, and she'll get jury votes no matter who she's up against, if she gets there. Number 1, Kylo, Jason's dog, the bounty hunter. Love him or hate him, and I love him, Jason is in the best spot right now. He needs to keep his egotism to the confessionals, which was a problem for him this week, and stay... Oh, there's a gap in my printing here. I don't know why they did that.
And stay tight with his bro lions. But if he can ride it out, he may end up being the winner. And we started hearing the bully word thrown around this week.
Okay, when they were on the Braun Beach, we really didn't see Jason picking on anyone other than Alicia. If he starts picking on more people but overcomes that to win the game, that may explain why Jeff was seemingly down on this season. Maybe. Well, that's all I've got. Do you think I'm right? Or am I way off? Let me know on Twitter. Later. Oh, he doesn't want us to respond. He wants other people to respond on Twitter.
That's all right.
And you can respond to him at the Giant Ninja.
That's right. All right. So you may lose me here in a few minutes. There's going to major red is about to hit us, and I might lose power, but you just keep on going. Okay.
Good luck in the Mikko challenge if you're not here.
I know. That'll be you won't be able to call them because
I won't have Will either.
it's all done on my end. So anyway, all right. So it is time for
You write them. We read them. iTunes reviews.
Yes, we have an iTunes review this week. It's from MJD Nam. Gave us 5 stars and titled the review "Not Just Two Best Friends." This is a great review, David. Dwayne and David have a fantastic ability to bring you into their friendship. They build our show as just two best friends talking about Survivor, but it's more than that. They make friends with our audience. It feels more like you're laughing with friends than listening to someone else's conversation, and it's fantastic. I love this podcast, and I think you will too, unquote. What a great feedback. Thank you so much. Leave us an iTunes review, and we'll read it because iTunes reviews make us feel good, and it helps people on iTunes find us.
You write them. We read them. iTunes reviews.
Pondering Ponderosa.
Because it's all about us feeling good. That's what we want to feel. It's all about us feeling good, and that's what it's all about.
It is all about us. David, how about we postpone Pondering Ponderosa till next week?
I think it's a great idea.
All right. So let's talk about first of all, you and Colton do a weekly power ranking on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch up with them this week?
No, he gained more points on me.
Oh,
because he was unsure. He has not had a good read on Neil all season. so he just couldn't rank him very high. And I had Neil up because it was idle, and I thought he's a smart player. So he picked up 4 or 5 more points on me.
All right. All right, my friends, here we go.
The Mikko Challenge, an ongoing battle of memory power and observation skills between the two Ds of survivor podcasting, David and Dwayne. Now mates, chivvy along, I'm off to see a man about a dog.
You still haven't changed the intro.
I know. All right, here we go. Sorry about all that. I will edit all that out. Yes.
All right. So you ready for the challenge, Will?
I've been ready for the last 15 minutes.
Me
Oh,
too.
now he's
If
smart.
Dwayne could just keep up with us. So here we go. All right. The first question for both of you is what Mikko Martin said is a warm-up question. There
Okay.
are no points available. He just wanted to throw this question out. He also said that if he'd had more time, he would have done a feedback, but he'll do one next week. But he did put together this challenge. So thank you, Martin, for doing that. All right, here's your warm-up quote worth no points. This is just to get you ready.
Wait, it has to be worth points.
No, this is just a warm-up quote just because Martin wanted to throw it in. Here's the quote. You ready? Ties balls banging into each other, never good.
Yeah, that was Probst.
All right, I'll give you both.
Jeff Probst.
There you go. You both got it right. Now you're ready. All right, here's quote number 1. Will, when you're ready, you give your answer. Dwayne's going to write his down. All right, here we go. We didn't know you made house calls. That's quote number 1. We didn't know you made house calls.
All right, I have my
I
answer.
know that was on the beach when the boat came up, and I don't remember who said it. I'm going to say it was Neil.
I'm going to say it was Debbie.
And the point goes to Will. It was Neil. All right.
I'm
Good
going
job.
to press.
And make sure you hear Dwayne say that he's got his written down because I don't want you to give Dwayne any help by saying yours.
I can't hear Dwayne at all.
Okay, so I will let you know when Dwayne has said that. So we'll fix that later. Don't.
And he doesn't get a point.
That's right. Quote number 2. Quote number.
Hear me.
Quote number 2. I made the survivor merge. That's crazy. So that's quote number 2. I'll tell you when Dwayne has got his written down.
Well, several people said that.
Oh, several people did, but only one person said, I made the survivor merge. That's crazy. So don't say it yet, Will. Okay, he has his written down. Will, what is your answer?
Oh, Michelle Maibel.
You are exactly right. Dwayne's was Scott. His was wrong.
Michelle said it. Scott said it. Debbie said it. Just saying.
Scott did not say it's crazy.
Shut
Scott
up.
said other things. Michelle said it as she's sitting in front of the tree.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Quote number 3. That's not very pleasant. Quote number 3 is that's not very pleasant. Dwayne is searching the pages to find a name because he still doesn't know everybody's name. So once he has that ready. All right, you got it ready?
Yes.
All right, who said that, Will?
I have no idea, so I'll say Ty.
The doctor said it.
The Dr. Rupert did say it. Dwayne gets a point. Will does not get a point. Our score after 3 quotes. Our score is Will 2, Dwayne 1.
Yes.
We go to quote number 4. Oh, I'm getting a good roller coaster out of Survivor, man. I don't think Dwayne needs to write this down because I know he knows who said it, but he has written it down. Who's your guess, Will?
That's one of Aubrey.
Yes.
That was Aubrey, thanks to Dwayne's great recap earlier tonight where he mentioned that. And we go to number 5. The score is 3-2, Will. Quote number 5. Screw everybody else. This is our game. Quote number 5. Screw everybody else. This is our game.
I have my answer.
All right. Dwayne is ready. What do you got, Will?
Wow, I do not remember that at all. How about Scott?
Okay.
That's what I said, Scott.
He said Scott, and you're both wrong. It was Nick.
No, it was Nick.
Let's see.
Hey, gummit.
All right. Quote number 6. Quote number 6. Tighter than ever. Salt and pepper, ebony and ivory, toilet paper, and toilet. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You both even need to write this down.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
Tough one.
I got it.
Debbie.
That would be Debbie. That would be correct. Would you hit, Dwayne?
Debbie.
Okay.
You're going to tell him I got it right?
Yes, the score is 4-3. Dwayne also got it right. All right, quote number 7. Quote number 7. He wants it, man. Quote number 7 is, he wants it, man.
He wants it, man.
He wants it, comma, man.
Hold on. Just a second.
What are you doing, Dwayne? Don't be cheating.
That ain't cheating. Hold on.
Well, Danimal said that a couple of seasons ago.
I guarantee you, Danimal is not the answer for this.
I have my answer. I have my answer.
So Dwayne's ready. What do you say, Will?
Michelle.
Crap. That's what I
said. Michelle. Yeah, Dwayne has Michelle, and you're both wrong. It was Joe talking to Ty about the chicken.
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants that food.
Yeah.
All right. So now we finished the 7 quotes. We go into the 3 questions, and the score is Will 4, Dwayne 3. All right, here are our 3 questions. For each correct answer for question number 8, you get 1 point. Unfortunately, it's only 1 at the max.
Okay. All right.
All right, Will, you can give your answer whenever you're ready because I
didn't hear the question. Can you do the question, please?
Oh, you didn't hear the question. What is the name of the merged tribe?
Oh, that was a competitor from
Got it.
Survivor Pearl Islands. Was it Rupert? No, it was Dara.
Dara.
Yes.
Dwayne also got it right. Will is at 5-4. She's also one of my soccer players for about 10 years. And
I'm sure that's why Joe did that.
It is. It's exactly why. Number 9. Quote number 9. 1 point max. Martin, what happened to all the multiple point questions?
I don't know.
All right, here's stuff on the who dropped out number 6 at the immunity challenge. Who finished in 6th? Who dropped out 6th? So 5 people dropped out, and then this person.
All right, I got my answer.
This is question number 9. 1,
I
2,
have my
3,
answer.
4, 5. Yes. So who dropped out in number 6? After 5 people already dropped out, who dropped out in the immunity challenge? What's your guess, Will? Who wasn't that person?
It was not.
I'll say Michelle.
It was Sydney.
Will says Michelle. Dwayne says Sydney. You're both wrong. Dwayne, you're off by 1. And Will, you're off by 2. Joe was off first, then Debbie, then Jason, all at 1 ball. And then after 2 balls, Michelle went, then Neil, then Scott as the 6th person, and then Sydney. So the score, 1 question left. The score is Will 5, Dwayne 4, and this is our final question. It is also worth 1 point.
All right, here we go.
What name did Neil give his knee injury?
Mount St. Neil.
All right. Dwayne is finishing his as Will gave his too fast.
Mount St. Neil.
What is that you marked out, Will? Nostromo. What is that?
I said Mount St. Neil.
Put that ballot up there again. What did you mark out first? Volcano something?
That was what I was thinking before I realized it was Mount St. Neil.
Before you heard Will say.
Got it right, and he won by 1 point. Although I get
There is a bonus question, yes.
All right, here we go. Bonus question.
Bonus question. Which team in the NHL qualified first for the playoffs because of their victory total? Which team this season in the NHL qualified first for the playoffs because of their massive victory total?
Wow.
So one team has so many victories, they've already qualified for the playoffs.
Can I answer, or do I have to wait for Dwayne to catch up?
Dwayne is writing down.
I have my answer.
Go ahead, Will.
The much hated Washington Capitals.
Oh, I put Red Wings because I didn't know.
Okay, Will still won because that is correct. Much hated. Not in this house, baby. That's the Caps. I mean, I'm not the biggest hockey fan in the world, but we do like the Caps. But I do like watching hockey. I mean, I could watch anybody play hockey, but we are Caps fans here. So
tell Will, thank you. David.
Will, thank you so much. Congratulations. You are the winner. You win us saying your name another time. Will at the Giant Ninja winning our second Mikko Challenge with fans.
Technical problem.
It's my fault. Who knows what's going on?
It's not you. As Dwayne says, it's his fault.
Yes.
So.
Later, guys.
Thanks, Will. All right, so before we close out of this, Rion, who's usually in our chat room, he's not able to watch tonight live, but he did have a comment. He messaged me. He wanted us to discuss, and I'll share it real quick. When the tribe was getting picked up by the boat to go to merge and was given 5 minutes, we know in previous seasons survivors bury their idols away from camp. What excuse do you think would be okay so you could leave to get your idol? I'm aware it didn't happen this week, but it could have. And according to Twitter, the bulge in Neil's pocket was not the idol, right? We talked about that. But string he found at the beach. So what excuse would you use to run during those 5 minutes to get your idol? You just talked about earlier why carry it in your pocket. What would you do? Would you put it in your bag or would you bury it?
I'd bury it because they can look in my bag.
Right. Neil even admitted he was seconds away from going through Jason's bag one time when Jason came back to camp.
Yeah.
So he would have found Jason's idol. So you would bury it. So what excuse would you use to go run and get it? Yeah.
I gotta go bathroom, or I buried something and want to go get it.
that would be tough.
I like your other Batman hat better. That one just is really got to be the ugliest hat in the history of the world.
I know. I love it because it pulls down.
Oh, it's just the ugliest hat ever, David.
Oh, it's the face. Come on.
All right.
That hat scares my dogs. I got to admit.
All right. So let's do the power rankings, not the power rankings, but the D&D Survivor Challenge. Let's do our scores because I'm about to get hit with a bunch of storms. So let's go ahead and do our scores.
Yes, I have them up and I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Let's see. Oh, hold on.
Live from the tornado warning, it's D&D. Thank you, Tolly.
Let's see that one. Where's the other one? All right. Unfortunately, Neil did not break the point barrier. Nick. Neil did get you a lot of points.
Yeah.
I know I don't want you to hear this, but I'm trying not to get the machine too close. I'm down to like 4 people. Me, Kelly, and Colton are down to 4 players left, and they, of course, are Jason, Ty, Joe, and Debbie. Jason got 20 points this week. Ty got 8. Joe somehow got 3 because he started the episode, and Debbie got 9.
All right.
Then we go to
wait. How many points did y'all get total?
Oh, we got a total of 40 points.
40 points. Good show, mate.
Our lowest point total to date.
Good show, mate.
All right, then we go to the Double D Brigade. Michelle only picked up 7 points.
Yeah.
Seems odd with as many confessionals she got, but she got 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, on his way out, picked up 17 points.
Thank you, Neil. Neil.
Julia, who did not speak a word, who actually just showed up for the episode, got 1 point.
Thank you, Julia, for showing up and being there.
Sydney also showed up, and I think she may have said something, but she got 3.
3 points. Way to go.
All right. Scott did have a couple confessionals. He got 11 points.
11 points. Thank you.
Aubrey, with her awesomeness, picked up 17 points.
Who was that?
Aubrey, with all her confessionals.
Way to go, Aubrey.
17 points. And if she had that idol, she'd pick up a few more.
I know.
And then Nick, the new leader of the Double D Brigade with this point total, picked up 31 points.
Way to go.
I thought it'd be more.
All right, so how many total points did the Double D Brigade?
I guess a lot of his confessionals rolled over to the next one.
Yeah, probably.
Because of that gap. Your total for this week, mine was 40. Yours was 87.
So I didn't pass you up yet, but
You got more points than me than total points I got altogether. So, as it stands, after week 7, the Double D Brigade has 528 points.
Yes.
Thrice is Nice has 548 points.
Wait. Double D has how many?
528.
So we're only 20 points behind you.
And you have two more people than we do. You have 6 players left in the game.
It always, you can start off strong, but if you don't finish, it ain't worth it. So I'm finishing strong, baby, and I'm going to kick your Batman-looking hat.
We need more Double D Brigade people to leave the game in the same episode all at once with no points whatsoever.
Right.
So, or else I need the winner. And I have a feeling I do not have the winner on my side. I have the feeling the winner is in the Double D Brigade.
All right.
Unfortunately. So that's
well, thank you so much, everybody, for being part of the show tonight. Sorry for some of the technical difficulties, although I probably edited them out, so it's okay. I do promise you that the Patron podcast is going to work because we tested it with Mike K, and it will work. All right. So there you go. Anyway, if you like our show, please take the extra click and shop Amazon using our links on our website and our Facebook group. Join the Facebook group, stwdd.com/Facebook. Every purchase you make on Amazon helps and doesn't cost you a cent more. And yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, so thank you that. You can get even more D&D by joining our Always Family Facebook group. Hey, I just said that. Follow us on Twitter at Survivor_Talk. And check out our Patreon page. For as little as $2 a month or $1 a month, you can be a D&D patron. And we do this little thing called the D&D Extra. And it's a video we record on Sunday night or Monday night. And it's basically, we'll talk about, like this week, we'll talk about what's going to happen on episode 8. It'll be a little 10 to 15 minute thing. And then we also just kind of talk about stuff. That's for $2 patrons and above. It's only $2, y'all. That's less than a Monster drink or whatever you want. And you really help us out. So thanks for tuning in, sharing our show with others, subscribing on iTunes, leaving iTunes reviews, Stitcher, and YouTube. We finally passed 700 subscribers on YouTube. Woohoo! By the way, I just posted a new song. I finished a 3rd song. If you're interested in the songs I've been writing, they're on the same YouTube, which is Dwayne Stroud. And they're under songwriting, I think, or personal songs or something like that, if you want to listen to them. So, all right. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Thank you, David. You have anything else, David?
I did my once a month tweet today, and I think I picked up like 12 followers. I'm over 300 followers now, and they'll soon find out there's no reason to really follow me.
Yeah.
But still, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I did my one tweet for the month. I'm good. I waited until the last day, last 2 days to do it. But but another great episode from another good season.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that Neil left. We will see Neil again. I'm with you immediately on that. He'll be back. And I think Dwayne agrees, and he'll be back for something. But still another really, really good episode. So glad Nick finally got in the fold. We got to hear from him. And I can't wait for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So excellent job, y'all. Thank you for being part of the show. See you later.
See ya.